Hey everyone, Jamie here with Southeastern Soul Tribe. I have been definitely doing a lot of meditation this morning, and I'm coming to you today to do a collective read because somebody out here needs a message. And I haven't even pulled cards yet, but I'm going to start by telling you that during meditation this morning, there was a deep feeling of anxiousness. And I think that we all had a bunch of optimism going into 2024, and then the energy is pushing us in a way that makes us feel just a little off kilter. I'm not sure exactly everything that's going on in the astrology world as far as that goes, but I do know that it makes a difference. I can tell you that we just had New Mini Capricorn. We're in Capricorn season. That's a lot about, power, control, things like that. And I encourage you to look up the history of Pluto going into Capricorn. I have posted on my Facebook about that. And if I haven't put it on my YouTube, I will share it there because there's some significant things about the change in Pluto and the change that's coming up on the 20th in Pluto, leaving Capricorn and going into Aquarius. And Pluto stays in the same place for many, many years. And those signs are different. Every time that Pluto changed in history, there's been significant world changes. It is a planet that affects the entire collective, which is us. Every one of us, whether we live on the same spiritual path or not, we're all connected. So if you're here watching me today, maybe you're becoming awake or you already are to the way that the atmosphere and the planets affect our lives every single day. So if you think that you are exempt, you're wrong. You're very wrong, and you'll feel that, and you should be feeling it now. So I'm going to do a collective read for spiritual advancement purposes for whoever needs it out there. And I know that it was beneficial to me during my journey and still is every single day. And I know when I start feeling anxious like that, being an empath, I absolutely can feel that from my collective as well. So I am meant to be here to help you with self growth and to be able to show up healthy in your relationships because relationships build our world. And when it comes to a collective world, those relationships in the world are affected and affect us. What about the relationship that our government has with other governments? That affects us, doesn't it? What relationship do you have with your spiritual leaders? What relationship do you have with your parents? How did that relationship mold you throughout lifetime? How does your relationship with your significant other affect your children? How does your relationship with your children affect your marriage? So on and so forth. You see how essential that these marriages are, or these relationships are. Notice how the relationship that your child has with their teacher affects their education, which affects their entire life. So, yes, relationships are important. Our feelings, our emotions, they are 100% important. And if you don't have emotional control and a place of center within yourself, then you're out of balance and you feel that. It comes out into your body. Unfelt or expressed emotions can oftentimes lead into heart disease and things like that. So, your relationships with others and yourself affects your body, your physical health. And that's the message that I've been trying to get out. That's why that I'm Libra. And knowing my purpose, not only how I got here with my past, but also in allowing me to use the skills that I've attained up to this point to help others in the collective on their journey as well. I'm not here dictating at all how that your life changes. But what I'm doing is offering you the water to drink from. And you do with that what you will. Those that are meant to be here and those that I'm meant to help will maybe utilize some of the advice. Not every reading is for you, but some readings are. So let's get down and see what it is that we need to know today and why I was directed to do a collective read instead of going straight to and I will do the other readings today too. This collective read is very important for us to get out there today. Angels, ancestors, guides, and spirits, just as you've led me into meditation this morning, I pray that you will get me a message with the cards for the collective out here that needs to hear this. The collective group. Thank you. Take time to breathe out. And that's what I was led to do this morning. You know, I have been meditating. I've had my phone on every now and then, but mostly I've been up here breathing, meditating, singing to myself, things like that. Because that's when I hear from Spirit. If you've all the time got this chatter going on, if you can just get quiet, focus on your breathing, you will hear from your spirit guides, your whatever. If you say God, you know, I hear from God when I'm like that. That's in my space. So take time to breathe out, slow down. And you know, it's crazy because that message was going out to Leo yesterday to do that same thing. Just slow down. There's a reason why the brakes are on right now. Hold your vision. There is another thing saying, hold, slow down. Take time to breathe. We don't need to put the foot on that gas pedal. On the bottom of the deck it says communication is key. So let's look and see what's going on in the collective. I'm going to do it's a form of a Celtic cross, but it's in my own way because I have some other positions in there that I set intentions for when I do this particular Celtic cross. And I'll let you know the signs that are involved in here, and that doesn't mean anything. I want you to look at the signs. It's not just your sun sign, but those are energies as well. What energy do those signs have in them? Because we all have the ability to embody the energy that is connected to any of those signs. Okay? It's very important that you learn that. Because if you look at your birth chart, you realize that you may have planets in different signs, planets in different positions and houses. And those affect how you show up in the world, in your relationships, and how you view things. There's a significance there. So show me for the collective spirit any messages they need for their self-growth. The most urgent message that needs to come out in the collective today. I'm going to put these on the side because they're wanting to fly out. So we'll keep those in mind. I just heard side message. So let me read this side message because I do what I'm told. There's a Cancer here, a Gemini. Cancer energy is about emotions. Think about the characteristics of Cancer. All right. Cancer people. Many times they like to be at home in a cozy, comfortable place. They don't really like to move they've got, with the Chariot, they have to move. So there is a situation where someone is having to make a move. They have to. They're about to. They're planning to. But there's a halt in the planning stage, and they feel like they can't move. And it is making them feel some type of way. All right, I might have to stay with this message for a minute. I just felt it. I may not do that Celtic cross. Let's go with this message because it's very heavy here. Spirit, tell me what direction to go. There's a feeling of haste here and a tossing around of two ideas. Between the feelings of receiving truth about something or I just heard seeking for, looking for passion and truth. So someone, Cancer and Gemini energy here. Oh, I just heard with the Gemini energy, there's not enough research being done on the idea of movement. Now, when I say movement, that don't mean that you're going to get in your car and you're going to go somewhere. It can also mean that you're in a situation where you need to change the trajectory of something. Emotionally, it can be emotional, physical, energetically. Your scenario is what is going to mean the most here. All right, so now on the table there is fire sign and air sign and water sign. So there's emotion involved. There's a seeking for passion, but it's a feeling of looking outside of yourself to receive passion or truth about something. And the honest truth is we can never receive any of those things outside of ourselves. They come from the inside. What caused this? This anxiousness that's happening now is coming from a place of not feeling calm, things not calming down when you thought that they were going to. The new opportunity that held the truth that did not happen. A choice that was not being made. That feeling of love or emotional fulfillment not coming, even though there was not any bad intentions behind anything involving this. And I've got somebody sitting here wondering why. Why didn't this work? Why am I having to even look at this change in direction? I've also got a Capricorn on the table now. I feel like in the past, according to the way the Capricorn is pointing here, in the past there was a habit of slow movement and not making decisions, always juggling back and forth or a lot of folly, and never actually making decisions. And there has been a healing of that pattern. So the person I'm looking at thought that if they made a move of some kind, that they were going to get to a different place. But it's only brought them into a position of waiting once again for someone else to show up with the passion and emotion or the truth in order to move forward. Therefore, they're sitting in a stuck position. At this point in time, this is a good position to be in because Spirit's guide is telling us to hold your vision, don't give up on your dream, and take time to breathe out. So while we feel stuck, that's where the anxiety's coming from. That's why I was feeling the anxiety. All right. Spirit, is there any advice or anything that the collective needs to know regarding this holding pattern that we're in right now? All right. Immediately, the message I got off of this is that hold space right now. The secret in the whole thing is the hold. You're meant to look inside and find a place of calm. This is you learning to work with a level of anxiety by not knowing what's out there. That's what this means. It's teaching yourself while you feel powerless that you have the power for emotional self-control, even in rough conditions. This is teaching you you're going into a rebirth, a death cycle. So something must die in order to come back through, come back in. That's scorpionic energy here. So there's Scorpio here, there's Pisces here, there's Capricorn here. There's air and fire and Cancer. I say air and fire because I'm not seeing any specific Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Of the earth signs, I see Capricorn, I see Cancer in the water signs. I see Gemini in the air signs. And I see Pisces and Scorpio in the air signs. Also in the air signs, I see Aquarius. Now let's get down here to this part of the advice. During this time of rebirth, you are not receiving truth from outside of yourself because somebody in this scenario is not equally sharing. The feelings and emotions that you have during this time period are feelings like, why did I even waste my time with this? And you feel like you ought to just make a decision and quit juggling back and forth. You want to take action with the Chariot card sitting here. You want to, because you can see the dream. Your vision is held. You see this. You have a dream and hope of a future commitment that's going to bring celebration in. You fear right now the pain, this anxiety that you're feeling is outside of yourself, or is an inside feeling that you're meant to look at. And why is it that you feel there will be no celebration, and why is that hurting you? Why? I'm not meant to tell you what I see on the bottom of that deck coming up, because right now you're in a holding pattern. It's time to look at this and why you feel that way. Why do you feel like there won't be a celebration, and why is it that you are hurting? If you come here looking for me to tell you why, looking for this information outside of yourself in order to make a decision, I'm here to tell you to take your power back. If you are an adult, you have all the power in the world to make all decisions in any scenario. It just depends on how tightly you're holding on to people, places, and things, and how much faith do you have in yourself and your higher power, whatever you call it, to get you out of anything that isn't for your highest good. I'm going to tell you right now, I have been rejected. I've been talked about, ran out of town, I thought. But the truth is, there were times in my life where I thought those things happened to me. They happened to me, meaning someone else did that to me. And maybe they did. Where my responsibility lies is how I look at that information. You get to make the choice when life happens to decide if it's happening for you or to you. Your perception of that is absolute key on the trajectory of the forward movement of this. You have the power in and of yourself to live with anyone, people, place, or thing, to live for yourself or others. You have that power. Let's see if Spirit has advice for you from the Animal Oracle regarding this, because I'm not going to tell you what I see in the cards coming forward. And number two, guess what? I can look and see what's coming in those cards coming forward all day long. The trick for you is not any of that, because the truth is one person in the scenario could change up the whole trajectory, and that never happened. Did you know that? Because we have free will. You can change the trajectory of anything that happens. What I can tell you is what's going on in the energy now and what's going on in the energy around you and what could possibly happen if the energy stays the same. There are all possibilities. They are not absolute. None of them are. Is there advice here for the collective regarding this message for their highest good today? Let yourself stand out and be noticed with the peacock. It's okay. I'm just hearing. It is okay if there are expectations around you for you to show up a certain way. In the world, in your home, in relationship, and you feel stuck. Like this is telling me you do. And you need the time to look inside and see why this anxiety is there. But you feel pressure from outside of yourself to do something different. This advice is telling you to let yourself stand out and be noticed. That means if it's the best thing for you and somebody has a problem with it, let them fuss about it. Let them point you out. Let them stick you out like a sore thumb. There might be something in the way that you stand still and look that can be an example to someone else. Because your growth that you have from looking at that, and then the movement you take after with your personal choice, if you decide to do that, is going to be more powerful than any words or anything else that you could do making hasty decisions while you still had this anxiety going on. If you're looking outside yourself to make a move that does not look into self-growth, and you're making all these moves in the 3D and you don't do the inside work, then you're not advancing. You're actually taking steps further back. You're running from an issue. I did it. That's how I know exactly what's going on and what I'm seeing in these cards. Wolverine, you're a lot tougher than you think you are. The hardest thing in the world for us to face in the world as humans are our emotions. And they're the one very thing that will absolutely kill our bodies. Our emotions, our feelings, emotional control will shape every relationship all day long. Emotional manipulation it's about your intentions and how much you allow others' intentions to reflect on you. You have to have healthy boundaries with those things. Any other advice? Trust the creative spark you're feeling and express it through writing stories that inspire and enlighten. And what that tells me is that your experience that causes this anxiety or whatever, in the silence and in the stillness right now, is a good time for you to take an assessment of why you feel that way and the story behind it, and use that story to help someone else. That creativity in itself, however your expression is, whether it's writing, dancing, singing, poetry, whatever, everyone has a creative expression of some kind. Even if you're the stiffest earth sign in the world with no creativity at all, you feel your ability to make sound processes. Maybe you're the one to teach a class and show the ABCD process that you need to get through this type of emotion. That's just an idea. It's just coming off my head. But that's what I'm saying. Your creativity is important. When you're in a creative function where you're building something with an idea that you have in the physical, and you're doing that, you're in the flow of your higher self, God, whatever your deity is, your higher power. You're in the flow there. And having that open communication and that open dialogue to where that flows immediately through your body. Your body will heal, your mind, your emotions, and everything in your relationships will get better. I love this card. I've gotten it a lot. It says, your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now, so pay close attention to signs and omens from them. So, guys, that's a collective read today. And I'll just let Spirit take it where it needed to go. Somebody needed to hear this. I welcome your likes, comments, and shares. Please subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow. And I feel a lot better now that I've made the choice this morning to share with you the knowledge and feelings around the emotional anxiety that I was having. Now I feel a lift of that. I made a choice to sit with the emotions in meditation and then to do something about it. Only after sitting there and hearing word from Spirit to come out to you and share my story of the emotions in the only way that I know to advise you around it. I hope it helped. Please subscribe to Southeastern Soul Tribe. And until my next video, short or TikTok, love and light, guys.